How you doing? My name is Matt O'Neill. I'm here from Goose Island Brewery to give you a little kind of rundown of the Goose Island history of the company and explain through some of the beers you guys see in front of you today. So Goose Island started back in 1988, back in the Clybourne section of Chicago. Their founder and president is John Hall. Their brewmaster is Greg Hall. He's kind of the brewmaster, kind of magician you see making all these beers right in front of you today. The company is very, very unique. Back in 1988, back in the 1980s, the craft brewery industry was really getting going. So out west, you see the Sierra Nevadas are popping up, the Widmer brothers are popping up. John wanted to prove that Midwesterners can do the same thing, be competitive, making really unique, distinctive beers just as well back in Goose Island. So we decided to open a brewery up in Chicago. Again, Chicago was a perfect place to open up a brewery. Being right next to the Great Lakes, one of the largest freshwater resources on the planet, it made perfect sense to open a brewery in Great Lakes. Probably brew around 50 different styles, some of which you see here today at the Yankee Spirits. In addition to that, they are really big on the beer and food focus. Now, big for Goose Island is all their attributes. They've won 6 World Beer Cup medals and 14 consecutive medals at the Great American Beer Festival, so quite a remarkable story. Next, I want to kind of dig into some of the beers you see in front of you today, give some taste profiles, some characteristics of the beer. All right, now we're going to try out the Goose Island 312. So 312 is actually the area code of Chicago. So if you go to Chicago, you will see it absolutely everywhere. This one's got a really nice, spicy, and kind of crisp, fruity aroma. It's an unfiltered wheat ale. It's absolutely a home run of a wheat beer. It's won many kind of accolades over the course of the years and World Cup beer medals and GABF medals as well. Next up you have is the Goose Island Honkers. Goose Island Honkers was one of the first beers they created at Goose Island. It's a kind of a classic amber style, so it's not too hoppy, it's not too malty, really, really well balanced. This is kind of paying tribute to the British beers you see overseas and a lot of the British pubs. Really drinkable, really exceptional beer, overall really home run of a product. Next up is their Goose Island IPA. This is kind of a classic IPA. It's about 55 IBUs, give or take a little bit. It's really nice kind of dry malt middle to it, nice long hop finish. So when you're drinking this, you know you're having an IPA at the end of that sip of that beer. It's got a really nice dry malt middle, a nice long lasting hop finish to it. So it's a really nice, pleasurable session beer they have from Goose Island. That's their classic brands. Now we're going to head over to their unique Belgian style beers. First is the Sophie. Sophie is kind of similar to a Belgian Saison or a Belgian farmhouse ale. It's really unique. It's fermented with wild yeast, actually in some wine barrels, a little bit of a kind of citrus, little orange peel in there. So when you're tasting Sophie and sipping Sophie, you'll taste a little bit of kind of white pepper note in the beginning, a little bit of a citrus coming from the orange peel, has a really nice, smooth vanilla finish. For wine drinkers, if you like champagnes or sparkling ales, you're definitely going to like the characteristics and the body feel you find from Sophie. Next up you're going to try out is Matilda. Matilda is a very unique item in their portfolio of brands. It's really wild in character. It's got kind of a spicy hop aroma to it, nice kind of fruity flavor as well. For me, it's very similar to kind of a Belgian Tripel. Same kind of characteristics to it. It's a Belgian style beer, but it's not definitely a Tripel in all the characteristics. It doesn't have the same alcohol content, but more the characteristics of the flavor kind of all throughout the course of the beer. It's very fruity, kind of rummy, kind of spicy flavors you'll find in normal Tripels. Very, very unique offering from Goose Island, and could definitely a home run. You have to try it out. Next up, we're going to talk about the Pierre Jacques. Pierre Jacques is brewed with loads of malts, loads of Belgian yeast. It's really, really unique. It's got a really nice, rich, kind of malty flavor throughout the course of the beer. Very similar to a Belgian double, if you're going to kind of characterize it to a beer flavor to it. As far as wine drinkers, if you like kind of fortified wines or vintage ports, this is definitely the direction you want to head into. Last but not least is the Bourbon County Stout. This is what everyone really knows about Goose Island. Looking for the Goose Island products is the Bourbon County Stout. It's aged in bourbon barrels for up to about 8 to 12 months. It's got just loads and loads and loads of flavor. So it has probably more flavor, an 8-ounce serving of this, the Bourbon County Stout, than any case of beer you see in Yankee Spirits today. It's really, really impressive. Tons of kind of bourbon aroma when you open up that bottle and pour it to the glass. You get kind of chocolate notes, vanilla, caramel, really, really complex. It's great at the end of the day, almost after dinner drink, kind of share a bottle with someone. And if you sit there with a nice robust cigar, it's absolutely perfect. So guys, next time you're in Yankee Spirits, come on down and find out the Goose Island brands. Come on down and try them out for yourself and see which one you actually like the best.